Assembly modeling. Assembly design is when we take our components and we put them in our working positions. And so we assemble the things as if we were bolting the parts together in real life. To do this, we're going to go up to the New command and say New. And we're going to go into Metric and we're going to pick in the Assembly section. And typically we're going to pick the standard millimeter, IAM. The IAM is for the Inventor assembly. So I'm going to pick on that one and say create. And it's going to bring us into our assembly tab. And you can see our browser bar over here now is our assembly over here. So we have basically three different methods in which we can create an assembly in Inventor. The first one is top-down assembly. A top-down assembly is when all the components are created within this assembly file. And so that means that all the parts are sketched and modeled right here while you're in this file. This eliminates the risk of losing our individual components since it's automatic already in this file and cuts down on the possibility of errors. And so it contains all the information of this particular top-down assembly. So a top-down is we know all those parameters in the actual part. Now a bottom-up assembly is when we already have the existing components or existing parts in IPT file and we are placing them into the assembly file as separate files. And once we bring them into the assembly, then we insert them into the assembly, and they're assembled in the assembly file. Now, because there's really nothing drawn in the assembly file in this case, the information is small, so the file size is very small, and it has a good ability to control the size of those files. However, if you move a component or a part, it loses its linkage or it can't communicate with that, and that can be problemsome. We also have a third method, is called the middle out. The middle out assembly is when you use a combination of both the top down and the bottom up approaches. So in this case, you can have both being done, and we can adapt them so we can make a change, and it will then be constrained by the other components in the assembly. So in essence, sometimes we do a total top-down assembly, sometimes we do a total bottom-up, but a lot of times we do a little bit of both, and that's a middle-out assembly. So when we create a top-down assembly, we do it one way. We created a bottom-up assembly, we do it another. You should really make a decision on which way you'd like to go before you get going. For the sake of some of these videos, I'm going to use a lot of bottom-up assemblies because we've learned how to create the parts already, and now we're going to assemble those parts. So no sense going over how to sketch and how to model a part at this point. So in the future, I might be using more of the bottom-up assembly videos.